Do you know anything about fishing? If you do, obviously this is for you. If you don't, stay tuned because you're going to be entertained in more ways than you can even imagine, especially when you got a little wiggly worm on the end of that line. Luck, are you excited to talk fishing?
I am excited to talk to something that's not one of your dumbass games.
All right. Way to put it. How about Dame? Dame, I know you were excited about fishing.
I'm excited, and I don't want to deal with your dumbass games either.
All right. And I know McFadden is not here, so we don't hear about that in the comments. He cannot show up tonight, but I will say this on his behalf. Last time I was at his house, we are eating some pizza, and he goes, let me show you something. And he shows me a photo of his mom holding a largemouth bass, a real nice size one, probably about 8-pounder. And he goes, though I'm not a fisherman, I'm a golfer. My mama knows how to fish, and I can vouch.
Really?
Facts. Yes.
Yeah, and I bet his mama don't play no games either.
No.
I don't take no shit.
So our special guest tonight, for all you fishermen and fishing ladies that have tuned in, he is the one, the only, thousands and thousands of hours on the water, scouting every inch that he possibly can, sometimes even fishing in the shower. He is down here in Charleston, South Carolina, a very, very popular fishing destination. Welcome, my cousin. Cuzz, welcome to the show.
What's up? Glad to be here.
Why's that?
I wanna learn more about these
this is-
games. I know about fishing.
No,
I
you
want to
don't.
learn about these
Trust me, you
games.
No, you don't. Trust me.
You don't.
I want to know what he's been holding back.
Trust me, you don't want any parts of it.
Just watch all the old episodes. You'll fast forward through all of them.
I'll say this, Cuz I've not lost any games against these guys. Undefeated.
Well,
cheater.
no. If you
Cheater.
set them up and cheat every time, then you should win them all. There's no reason you should lose.
Okay. Speaking of cheating, let's just start with one of the biggest questions that took over the fishing world a couple years ago and really put fishing tournaments on the map. Cuz you're big into bass fishing tournaments. You even do some red fishing tournaments. So when it comes to cheating, what's been your point of view of catching these fools? And what would you do if you were hosting a fishing tournament and you caught some fool stuffing weights in some fish?
I can say that the guys out there on the water, you lift that fish up, they know exactly what it weighs. They've held so many fish, they know exactly what it weighs. You come in 3,
Cool.
4, 6, 8 ounces over,
We'll be here.
that ain't gonna fly, man. It's just not gonna fly. And they know right away. Just visually, you know what fish should weigh. So it's kind of amazing to me sometimes when they come in and you hear these stories and you're like, how did you not catch that? Because the ichrometer, it'll get you every time.
What is the what? What did you say?
The ichrometer. You measure it by eye.
The eye caramba?
Ichrometer.
Got it.
I'll say this. I used to send Dame fishing photos when I was out fishing, catching a bass. And then I would put in our group thread, hey, how much does this bass weigh? Dame instantly would be like 28 pounds, even though it was like a 3-pound bass. So his eye barometer is off.
It is not calibrated.
I like how it turned into an eye-barometer. I don't think that's what I said, but sure, absolutely.
It's okay. Let him rock with it. We're used to it. He says a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't make any sense.
So what could the bass tournaments do, or what have they done that you've been a part of to deter some cheating? I know you brought me into a bass tournament one day where you feel I was bidding up our own team. Can you tell that story?
Well, yeah. When you're running a Calcutta, don't stand right next to your partner so then you can't see who's bidding, and then both of you bidding on the same team yourselves. That's always helpful. Cost me $20.
What is it? I don't know what that means. You got to break that down in layman's terms.
Calcutta is basically you bet on each team who's going to win. So, and there's only, it's winner take all. So you pick a team that you know is really good and they've been running good numbers week after week. Say, yep. And you just bid each other up until somebody drops out. Whoever wins gets that team's name. If that team wins, you win the Calcutta. So you win that pot of money. That's the simple of it.
So if you think a team's cheating, you can bid on them to win, and then you get that money.
Yeah, I mean, that is a loaded question. Wow. Now I'm getting the games he's playing. All right.
Well, Well, how else other than stuffing weights in the fish, how else do you cheat when you're in like a bass tournament like that?
Things, I mean, bass tournaments, things I've heard, they'll go out, fish, catch a few nice ones, throw them in a basket somewhere, and then they'll accidentally snag that basket, pull it up, drop a few in the live well, and be like, yeah, we caught those today. Well, they could have called me yesterday, the day before. It's honestly, it gets harder and harder. Everybody's got a camera, everybody's got a phone. There's people all over the place. If you fish in an area where you're really by yourself, then yeah, I can see it. But really, the true answer is don't run tournaments that have high bags, high buy-in. So you keep it to 20, 40, 50 bucks, including the big fish. And you're only winning, whoever takes first is winning a couple $100. It covers gas and a little bit of bait, maybe some maintenance, and that's it. The cheating really comes in when you push those big bags, the big pots. You see big money,
So you're
people
saying
get
the more
ambitious.
Oh, so you're saying the more money that's involved, the more people are inclined to cheat? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, that is the nature
That
of the
sounds
beast.
sounds about right. Yes,
You're
sounds about
we-
you're
right.
a
are we
great
not talking
person
about
until
golf?
well, I think
It
we're
sounds
talking
like he's
about a lot of
describing a
things.
golf tournament. The more money you got into it, the more people are going to cheat.
It
That's
applies
right.
for life in general. It's just a life rule.
I say boys be boys,
So Dame and Luck obviously are not big time fishermen. They're not out there weekend warring it and taking days off of work to fish. Luck, just off the top of your head, if you were to cheat, how would you cheat? We're gonna see if the Captain Cuzz can tell you if there's even a shot of that even working. So Luck, what's the way you think you would cheat in a bass tournament? Luck, you frozen?
Yep, he froze.
Yep. Sorry, my back. All right. So if I was going to cheat, it'd be very easy. I would just pay my way onto the best team.
I like
It's
the
not a
way
bad
you
way to go.
think.
I'm just going to find the best
Just get
team
the
and
best.
It's not
pay
a
my
bad way to
way
go.
on.
Roll co-angler and get the best driver. Yep, I see you.
Okay, so
You ain't
that's
wrong with that.
feasible. My Cap Cuzz is saying, Dame, you got any way you think you could go on the water and cheat?
I mean, my main one would be what we already discussed, throwing weights in the fish, but that's already people are already paying attention to that. The second one would be what Cuz said is I would go fishing the day before and try to find me a few large bass and put them in the book bag and then take them with me and just
Cuz,
throw them in
It
there.
all depends on format. So I think Ryan, you were telling me that you had a situation where they were kayak fishing and they were putting their finger in the way and they had a fake tail or whatever, because in the kayak fishing, this is all format dependent, but you have the ruler in front of you. You take the picture with your label for the day that they give you, and they would have a fake tail underneath their hand and just kind of slide it down an extra 2-3 inches, and every fish they had was a couple inches bigger, just enough to push the bag.
So is it length of the fish or is it the weight of the fish or is it a combination of both?
It depends on the tournament and the rules of the tournament. Some of
Okay.
them are
Okay.
run differently. Usually if you bring 5 in to the ramp and weigh them, they go by weight. If it's catch and release, in that you catch it, you take your picture, your proof, and then you release it, typically they go by length. Some of the bass tournaments, you have someone there with you to weigh them, and they'll take the weight. You see them on TV. They'll take the weight and then they'll release it back to the spot that you caught it in, so you're not relocating a bunch of fish. But those are typically, I think it would be pretty hard to cheat on those, because you got an official sitting in the boat with you. So good. I mean, you both would have to be on it to get
Yeah,
one
you would
away
have
on
to.
that one.
He would have to be on the Epstein list, and you would have to blackmail your
Yeah.
official.
You
Give
better
a
have
bribe, just
something
a little
good on that
bribe, that's all.
guy. Maybe he made some poor decisions.
So when he was talking about the kayak fishing, they do the measurements, and what some of the people were doing, and they got busted for it, thankfully, is they caught a real bass, the tail off, and they kept the tail hidden. So then when they went to measure the bass, like he said, they would cover with their hands, and then they would slide that tail a little bit down. So that extra inch with that tail that's literally off a fish they cut, it's not the fish they caught. that would give them an extra inch. So, you got a couple fish, those 3 extra inches in a tournament add up. And next thing you know, you're finishing third, second, first off of a cheating tactic. So we're not going to go down all the rabbit holes of the ways to cheat, but there's quite a few. And thankfully, the sport continues to advance. And I think one thing that my cousin needs to explain is there are tournaments that have lie detectors. When you get off the water, they take individuals, and there's a lie detector machine, and they have to go
What?
through the gauntlet. So explain that,
Oh, yeah.
cuz.
Yes, we got a tournament trail here locally that does that, especially when all the other walleye cheating that came up and all that other stuff. When you sign the waiver, so you're gonna have a waiver before each one releasing them of responsibilities and stuff. And one of those agreements in that waiver are you'll subject yourself to a lie detector test if requested, amongst a few other things. So yes, and they were actually doing it right there in the parking lot. They'd pull you aside, whoever they thought had the winning bag, they pull you aside, and I think it wasn't due to cheating, but there was question on it, and I think there was one instance where the winning bag got overturned and they gave it to the next winner. So even if it wasn't true cheating, it may have been a procedural thing, or were you driving around without like your life jacket totally on before you started the big motor or whatever. It could have been another rule that you broke that they asked you about. They don't give you specifics, but there was one situation I remember that they over the biggest bag and DQ'd that group. So it happens, but I don't think in that instance it was anything intentional. It was just they asked the question, the answer was not what needed to be according to policy, and gotta cross your I's, dot your T's.
So Damon and Luck have been in golf tournaments, and they've heard, golf rules. For us old farts that, can still play golf, it's like, okay, you're in this tournament, here's the rules, here's the rules, here's the rules, follow the rules. Same thing with fishing with those old farts that are out there fishing. Simple stuff like you can't have your life jacket not zipped up and on when you start the engine. So you can't start the engine without that gear on, and there's other rules to it. So Captain Cuzz was just talking about something like, hey, on that lie detector, they can say, did you have your life jacket on every time you started the boat? No, I didn't. Stuff like that.
And
So
you
it's
can
just
get
not,
disqualified for that?
yeah.
That's wild.
If somebody was
not-
on my boat and they answered that wrong, I'm kicking them off the boat, no matter where I'm at. You can't even lie
Worst
correctly.
co-angler
Get the
ever.
fuck off my boat.
The crazy part is lie detectors aren't even admissible in court, but you can use them for bass tournaments.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Dame, you imagine you in a golf tournament getting a lie detector test? That would be pure gold. Look, imagine Dame.
I don't break any rules on the golf course though.
You don't break any rule.
Tell me one
don't-
rule that I
Look
break.
here,
Dame, first
throwing
of all, you don't
marshmallows
even,
all over.
Dame, first of all, you don't even know all the rules to golf, so
That
you're
is true.
breaking
That
them.
is true.
But if he
Very true.
doesn't know the rule and no one told him the rule, did he break the rule?
Yes, technically I still broke the rule.
Well.
But
Just because you
Would
didn't
you-
know you couldn't do it doesn't mean you're not breaking the rule.
would it fail the lie detector though if you didn't know?
No, I think I pass with flying colors because that would be my truth.
That's right.
Hey, my mom gave me the shirt. Says, can't work today. My arm is in a cast. And it's a guy casting.
It's a good pun. I like
Yeah,
that.
it is pretty cool. I want to give
I
my
like
mom a
that.
shout out. Mama Mercer. Okay, now that we got into all the good stuff, the cheating, the lying, the scandals.
Well, I got one question. I got one question about the cheating. It was like real quick. If you had the cut off fish, right? The tail, wouldn't it look wrong? Like, wouldn't it look out of place? Like somebody with two long legs before their knee? Like, you'd be like, that's not your body. Like, that can't be, it's not in the right, what do you call it? It's just, it doesn't look right.
Yeah, that's how the person ended up getting caught. It took
Okay.
It took a lot of photos, though, and people really looking at them to all of a sudden realize, hold on, these patterns aren't matching up.
It doesn't
you
match
know.
up. Okay.
And why is his hand always covering? You keep placing in the top 5 in these fishing tournaments. Cap will tell you, we got a family team down here that I'm not going to talk about, but they're kind of like an arch enemy that they don't know that they're arch enemy because they always finish really good. So you're always keeping an eye on people that are doing well in fishing tournaments. So with those kayaker that was doing that, same thing. You're gonna get more and more eyes drawn on you, and people are gonna find out. And then that's when the legality and all that stuff comes into play. I'm glad we got that out of the way for all you junkies out there that like drama and cheating and stealing and murder and drownings and all that drama. Now we're gonna talk about stuff that's called the fishing dream. So, Captain Cuzz, you've been fishing. At what age did you find a night crawler and you said, "Listen, night crawler, I need to throw you in the water"?
Man, 4, 5, 6. I think it was early,
Mm.
early. It would have been way up north Wisconsin, Ashland area. I think is my first memory of fishing. But yeah, I've been fishing in random places wherever we lived. My hometown had a dam and it had like brick walls, stone walls you had to climb down, and man, it was every day was an adventure. And I'd walk around on the rocks and look for broken line and hooks and whatever people would discard because man, back in the day everybody threw everything just on the ground. So I'd go around, I'd untangle line. I didn't have my own fishing rods. I didn't have anything. I started with a stick and whatever I could find on the ground. Go out there and just turn rocks until you find something, dig stuff up in the woods, whatever you got to do, and yeah, I spent a lot of time, a whole summer, couple of summers just fishing that little dam, that little river. It was a lot of fun. Eventually I got a fishing rod and found some, it was like this blaze orange lipless bait, couple treble hooks on it, and it would shake when it went through the water. It went this way. It didn't go through like this. It stood up and did that, and it vibrated so hard. Your whole rod was like, and the northern in that river would just come and slam that thing. None of my gear was rated for those fish, and they'd break me off, and it would take me a week to go earn enough money to buy another one of those baits, and I'd go buy it. Then I'd break off on another fish, and I was like, "Oh, the biggest story," because it's always the one that got away is always the biggest fish. But as a kid, man, it was crazy times. It was a lot of fun, a lot of time spent on the water.
So Captain Cuzz went through the fishing gauntlet of using a stick, line, a hook, to lures with a stick, to reel and rod, to graduating high school and joining a big boat. Cuzz, what was that big boat that you got on?
That was a little bit bigger than a boat, but sure. It was a USS Kearsarge. The Navy threw me out in the middle of the ocean, and I spent a lot of time just looking over the side, watching the dolphins run up on the bulb. There's a bulb in the front of the ship that kind of parts the water, and they would just jump on that thing just for miles. They would just sit there, and you just sit there and watch them. Saw huge molas, like really big ones. And you'd be out there and the air was just dead still, the water flat, so eerie, a little foggy, and you're just out there and you're like, man, it is even on a ship that big, it was 800 and some feet long. You're like out there by yourself. And then you're thinking, where's my rod? How big does it got to be? What can I catch out of here? And it haunts you.
And when he talks about the size of the ship, it says, "Oh yeah, 800 yards or whatever." How many people were generally on that ship?
Crew 900, and we carried 4,500 Marines if
And
they were all in there.
you grew up in a town. Was that even that many people in that town you grew up?
No, that town had, I think my hometown was 3,200, 3,300, something like that, 3,200 people in my hometown. So yeah, that ship carried more than my whole hometown. Yeah, that's right. I never
had
put
more
those
people.
together.
I had more people than that. I had more people than that in my high school. Legit, I had more people than that in my high school.
Damn.
So, Cuz, on behalf of the Old Fart Podcast, you're our first veteran on the as a guest, and we just appreciate your service and to the American freedom that we have over here. No matter what a person says about America, you're at least free in a lot better situation in a lot of countries. Every country's got issues, but at least here in America, you get a fighting chance for the most part. Obviously, still a lot of weirdness, but appreciate what you did. And you say, you know what? I need to fish more in my life because you saw all that water, and you can't go back to Wisconsin and ice fish and get shorter seasons. So you move down south where you can fish a whole lot more. And tell us, when you got down south, you had to pick a boat. So give us the quick rundown, because I got some questions of where you're at today. But you bought your first boat, and that boat was a center console because you had ocean access, river access, creek access. And tell the folks about that boat, its name, its abilities and non-abilities, and kind of where it took you in your fishing career. Because now you're a grown person, you're out on your own, you got the dream from a kid with a stick to a kid with a center console.
Yeah, that was a 206 Sea Fox. It was like a 2008. It's a good little boat. I picked that one because everybody in this area has a 20 to 24 or 26-foot center console. Very popular boat in this area. And I said, well, if it doesn't work out for me, at least I can sell it because that's what everybody wants. But the funny part is, you couldn't even find a reasonably priced one here. So I had to drive down to Florida on my bachelor party and buy the boat. So I agree that this might be the dream, but my honeymoon was, we didn't go on a honeymoon. I went down to Florida and bought a boat.
Oh, how did that go over?
We're still married, so
Fair.
I guess it went okay. We did kind of do a little bit of a honeymoon. We went out to Alaska a few years back, so I made up for it. It was just her and I, and it was a great trip. But she was very understanding, and it was pretty awesome that instead of spending money on a honeymoon, I went down to Florida and bought a boat and came back. It was a good little boat. We enjoyed it. Took Cuzz out there a few times. We'd go to the jetties. We had we had those guys from Wyoming or Montana come and join us from a conference, and I don't know how that happened. Ryan just showed up with these people, and he's like, "Hey, we're all gonna go fishing today." And I was like, "Great, yeah, let's go do that." And I think we hammered them that day, and I always remember it because I'm like, "Man, where are all these people coming from?" So we were just rotating through, and it worked good. But yeah, we just spent the day out at the jetties getting on some bull redfish, and I think we caught some shark, a few bonnethead, and on the smaller rods we were catching spot and croaker and things like that. But that was a really good day.
So that was a great thing with Cuzz, is he would let folks on the boat, take them out there, get on the fish. And with that bigger boat with the center console, he always, to me, always still had this itch to get that boat into creeks with the tide where the water goes low or high. He always wanted adventure. I always wanted adventure, just like he did as a kid. He always wanted to fish and adventure. And next thing you know, we're in this 26 whatever boat, big old thick boat, and he's in these tiny creeks, running over things, getting stuck and tide and running out of water, and then eventually, after couple years of that, he hits me up. He goes, "That's it. I finally found a boat I can do all these adventures with." He's like, "Let's scavenge and scowl the earth down here in South Carolina." And that's the boat he has behind him. And maybe he'll show us some of the stuff behind him and introduce us to the boat that he has now, his pride and joy. And Dame's fished on that boat as well. Dame,
It's a great boat.
yeah, luck it works too much. He doesn't like to fish. So give us a little tour. Explain what you got there behind you. You got rid of that boat, and then you got this boat again. Where did you have to go to get this boat?
Yeah, so that center console was fun. I got a few days offshore, but man, that thing would just beat you to death. I don't know what it was about that hull, but it just couldn't do it. So I started fishing with the Legend for a couple of years. And I was like, this is not going to cut it. He wanted to fish inshore, and I wanted to get up in creeks and everything, and you couldn't do that. It was a 15+ inch draft, and you just had a motor on the back, no trolling motor, no nothing like that. So I'm co-angler on running bass tournaments and everything, and I said, man, we need to do this. We need to bass fish inshore on the saltwater side. And so that started that adventure. I sold that I sold the honeymoon, if you will. And then I found a 2000 yeah, I know, right? So I found a 2006 Ranger Cayman 223. It's a flats boat, but it's a 22-foot flat boat, so it's a little bit longer than like a technical skiff or anything. But trolling motor in the front, power poles in the back, had a 225 on it, blew that up. Whoops. So put a 250 Yamaha Show on it. Its top speed was at one point before I added some stuff to it when it was running light was 74.9 to get up and go. I can fish the bass tournaments if I want to, which I do some tournaments, usually in the spring, and then I'll do the winter Toys for Tots tournament. Otherwise, I'm usually in the saltwater. But I've had this flats boat 34, 35 miles offshore, and I think we hit about 106 feet of water. So this thing has been absolutely spectacular. We ran it up into creeks where the grass is like encompassing you on both sides, and you just keep sliding
there.
through it. I don't know how it gets in those areas, but this thing is absolutely unbelievable. I couldn't get more lucky to have a boat that runs so easy offshore and in bigger water, and then absolutely get, in my mind, mostly skinny, still over 10 inches, but this is Charleston area, so it's all mud, man. You can run the trolling motor and push the keel through the mud, and you get away with a lot of things you couldn't do in, say, rocky areas or hard bottom like down in Florida. Yeah, this thing will take you, if you want to go on an adventure, this thing will take you anywhere you want to go. It's been quite
I will say
fun.
that I'm familiar with most of the words that you've been using over the past few minutes, but I'm not familiar with them in the pattern that you've used them in. So I have no idea what you've said. I have no idea.
So
I have
let's
no
go.
idea.
Get up and go, man. That's what I said.
He
I
said,
need you to
"Jay,
pick
you're-
up your phone. Hang on. I need you to pick up your phone and do a walk. I only see like a little chunk of the boat. I don't see the boat.
All right.
There she
here's-
goes.
Give you an idea. This is
Beautiful
all
boat.
Ryan's snack. All of this is Ryan's snack. Here, I'll put my arm
Absolutely.
the other way. But
yes.
let's see. Got the trolling motor up front with a live scope running all Garmin. It is saltwater rated, even though it's black. Some people would be like, man, you got that black thing out front. Hey, it doesn't have to be white to be saltwater rated. But I did put the foot controller inside, and so it's all cut in there, so you don't have to like Captain Morgan standing. Then don't mind, this is my mess. But it's just a flats boat, so it's all flat all the way to the back. Got a 250 show in the back, pair of power poles. That's my garage. That's absolutely stacked with storage up top because the boat. I don't know if you can see that in that back corner where it looks like the drywall's been cut out. That's because I cut the drywall out, so then the power pole would fit in there. Back behind the motor, there's an electric winch mounted to the wall that I can hook it to the pad eye, and it'll actually draw the boat into the far corner. And so the boat touches this wall right here. It touches the wall where the power pole is. And then up at the front, where the garage door comes down, it gives you about 2.5, 3 inches for the garage, and it covers the entire, the whole thing, man.
Yes, it does.
All the design work when he bought this house was around his boat because the HOA said you can't have a boat in your driveway. So this man made every inch, nook, and cranny to where nothing but his boat and fishing gear are in his garage.
Way to go, Mercer. You just took two of my questions that I had already pegged ready to go. You just answered for him. Thanks for fucking that up.
I'm sorry.
All right,
I'm
here
sorry.
we go. So for tackle, this is a tackle emporium. I keep
Holy
everything
shit.
stored as
Oh, yeah.
organized as
Oh, yeah.
possible. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
So
He's
the
real
difficult
deal
part is
Holyfield.
I saltwater fish, I offshore fish, mostly like near offshore. For the real offshore guys, I can't run out that far. I'm gonna get away with it every once in a while, but I can't run out on a regular basis that deep. So it's usually bottom fishing, light trolling, but saltwater fish, freshwater fish, bass fish, and then I got kids and everything, so I'm on the water here on a little reservoir, so it's freshwater, and so I got little brim fish and stuff too. So yeah, it takes up some space, but it's worth it.
Luck, are you back or are you frozen?
He's here.
Okay,
No, he's froze.
he's
I
frozen.
lied. He's froze. I lied.
Oh man, I was hoping he was just holding his face really, really still.
No, he's just in shock and awe. That's his shock and awe face.
That's what I was going for, shock and awe.
So Luck will jump back in, but we're gonna start wrapping up episode up. It's been absolutely amazing for all the fishermen that have been doing this craft for many, many years, and the newer people and so forth. Leave some comments, leave some love. You'll see on our YouTube, on our shorts, my cuz actually did some ice fishing. What was that, like 10 days ago down here in Charleston? They got an ice storm to where some of the lake got ice on it, and that it's titled Charleston Ice Fishing. You wouldn't believe it. So watch that reel. And it is a banger. He went out there and did it. That's how hardcore he is as a fisherman. And I'll tell you this, obviously I'm related to him. And I've watched him fish since, like he said, from a youngster all the way up, and his experience and all those hours and thousands of hours on the water. Everyone sees water and they just assume there's fish everywhere in the water. That's not the case. The fish are very hard to find. You need to know the terrain. You need to put in the time. It costs a lot of money to operate a boat, keep up with the boat. I mean, he's always tinkering in the garage with the boat. The person he mentioned earlier, I'm going to mention him again because we are going to get him on the podcast. His nickname is The Legend. He's been fishing for what, 40 years, Hart?
Yeah, 40 bass tournament fishing, 40 plus years. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that a lot of knowledge got passed down, and he is unbelievable. And when you get a chance to fish with not only my cuz, as Dame fished with him a couple years ago, and hopefully he gets down here again. But you saw how my cuz can make these casts and say, "Hey, there's a fish over here." He throws in there, he catches it, and Dame would throw in there 100 times and catch nothing. You remember that?
Nothing. And then every now and again, he'd be like, "Oh, they're biting over here," and I was like, "Okay, I'll just try my luck, throw it in there." Nothing would happen, and I pull back in, and I go back and take a nap, eat my snacks.
Because I dropped my phone. I dropped my
caught a
phone.
branch.
No,
I caught a branch.
I dropped my
I caught a
phone.
stick.
I dropped my phone in the water trying to get a selfie.
Yes, you
because
did.
all
Yes,
three of
you
us had
did.
a fish. So you did catch some fish.
I borrowed one of your fish. I promise. I borrowed one of your fish.
Hey, what's Cuz got in his hand right there?
That
don't
is
know
a
what this
fillet
is.
knife. He must have some. Or is it a boning knife?
No,
Man, you guys can't see it, but this is an ice fishing jig
That's-
on the end of this.
that's the
This is what
fish-
I was ice
that's-
fishing with up in Wisconsin.
Is that the
pocket
one that I
fisherman.
brought down there? Is that
Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Absolutely. I just want to say thank you.
You still
I
have that?
I hauled it up to Wisconsin with me. I caught a bunch of fish, ice fishing with it up in Wisconsin, and brought it back down. So thank you. It was a perfect ice fishing rig, and it is an original, by the way. So true legacy piece here. So thanks a lot.
I'm
Appreciate it.
glad you love it and you can put it to use. I would have had no use for it.
Dame, can you give the quick 30-second breakdown of that historical piece that has been passed down to a fisherman through you, a guy who doesn't even fish much?
Well, I'll give you the quick breakdown. It was my dad's, and when he passed, rest in peace.
R.I.P.
I had to go through and clean up his items, and stumbled across that. Had no idea what it was. And I think like a year later, 2 years later, or something like that, I always kept it. And then you were like, "Hey, we're going fishing." I was like, I'm just going to sneak this in the bag, and I'll pull it out when we get down to Charleston and see what they think about it. And I brought it out. You guys would have thought I discovered gold because you guys were like, "What are you doing with that?" And
It was
I had
gone.
no idea what it was. I had no idea what it was. So I'm glad he puts it to use. It couldn't have gone to a better fisherman. You just have to realize. So one, yes, I will absolutely come down. Had a blast for that weekend. We had a great time on the boat, fishing from 10 to 5, and then partying from 5 to 10. It was fantastic.
How cool would it have been if we got invited this week? I didn't get one. Did you get one?
No, I did not get invited this
Yeah,
week.
I didn't get one.
That's
I got a heads up. I'm going fishing, so it's okay. It's all good. But no, I absolutely will come down again. But you just have to realize I'm a horrible fisherman. I cannot fish. It would
Yeah,
be
but we
easier
can
for
work
me to
through
catch
that.
a fish with my bare hands. Okay. Well, I'm down for the challenge. I am down for the challenge.
Maybe I would take you out bottom fishing. You really can't be a bad fisherman bottom fishing. You just
That
just
is
drop to the
correct.
bottom, and then you just get on it.
I am a very good bottom fisherman.
I don't like how that sounds. I don't think I want
That's
to do
what she
that.
said.
Yeah.
I don't like how that sounds.
And for all the old faithful that are listening right now, me and Cuzz got on a lot of fish that weekend. So don't let Dame make it seem like me and Cuzz weren't catching them. We were slaying them.
I said me. I clearly said me. You guys caught all the fish. I brought home fish that you caught. I'm very appreciative. Also, I would like a couple fillets, and can you guys stop by the shrimp boat for me and give me a pound of shrimp?
Dame still talks about that
That's
shrimp. He
doable.
loved that shrimp.
That's
Absolutely.
I'll Venmo, Cash App, whatever you need.
So we're 43 minutes in. I appreciate everyone's time on on this evening. And again, our old fart faithful, leave those comments. If you got questions about fishing, if you're new to fishing, you name it. My Cuzz talked about his marriage earlier. Yes, you can have an addiction to fishing, an obsession with fishing, rug running with fishing, and still have a happy marriage. Thankfully, his wife understands fishing to him is therapy, and instead of paying a person and have him laying on the couch, she just says go fishing for the day, and he comes back a happy man. So look, Dame, any final questions for Cuzz?
No, just let's hook up our schedules sometime. I actually came down in the winter because it was like February. So I don't know when the best time to fish is, but let's figure that out, and I'll get down there and come hop on the boat one more time.
Luck, go ahead.
I got to know this from the fisherman that you are. And I like to go out and fish here and there, especially with some buddies, just because if I'm not catching anything, then it's better for the time. But why on earth do fishermen love ice fishing? Why?
2 reasons, and I'm gonna hurt some Wisconsin rules here. I might be breaking some rules. How truthful should we be on this? How far is your reach?
We don't have one yet.
We don't have
Yeah.
one yet. Be
All right,
truthful.
this is early on. So here you go.
Hold on. Here you go. Careful.
Yeah.
All right. Well then,
But I want to know your
dangerously.
answer. Like I really want to know. And I'll tell you the background. So I live, I'm from Ohio, but I live many years in Massachusetts, where these guys would just drive their big ass trucks out on the lake and then park up a tent right next to it, and they're just out there chilling. Like,
yeah.
you know how much your truck
yeah.
weighs? I don't care how deep that ice is, but these boys, they did not care.
No, that's normal. I mean, growing up in Wisconsin, that's normal. You drive out on the ice, and you'll be driving out of the ice, you come through the ramp area where it transitions onto the ice, and you'll just drive past a truck that's been basically nosed in and then refrozen in around that truck, and you're like, oh, well, don't drive over there, and you just keep going. You just keep driving right out into the ice. It's a little risky, understandably, but I think one, it's because you never know what you're gonna catch, and that's the heart of fishing. The way it goes is you're like, man, I might get the next big one. I might see something that might catch something that you normally wouldn't. On the ice fishing side, let me catch that walleye in some super shallow water, or catch something that you don't even know is out there in that body of water. So, or the biggest one that you've seen out of there. So that's the hunt. That's the drive. So that's an easy one. The other one is a combination of alcohol and getting away from your family. So that's the dangerous part. How much can you do? Are you truly out there to get away from your family or not? Or are you just really enjoying your time? And I feel like the guys that go out there and do it are going out there, their time and whatnot. But then I feel like sometimes the family at home is saying, they're just trying to get away. They don't want to be around. They don't want to do the chores at home or whatever's going on in the house. And so sometimes I can see both sides of that. Sometimes I'm like one way or the other. But yeah, that would be my answer. Those are the danger points of, hey, reality versus intent and everything else.
What I'm shocked about is neither Luck or Dame. I know McFadden would have already done this, so shout out McFadden. He would have called me out a long time ago. Dub has a reputation at times for being a little cushiony, bourgeois, a little comfy in the cushion of his life. And if I would speak about the ice fishing, which I did 2 years ago up in Wisconsin, Cuzz was there with me. And I'll tell a little story about my wife, who, is California girl. She thought we were out there suffering, just suffering. It's cold out, it's thick ice, it looks like a scene out there, and we're out there. Little did she know she made the trek out there, just thinking we are suffering. She's feeling bad for us. She gets in tent thing. I can't remember what they're called. Ice fishing shanty. And we got a heater, we got food, we got a TV, we got everything and anything you can think of. And she's unlayering her clothes, yelling at us in a friendly, joking way, not a mean way, of like, I thought you guys were out here roughing it. You're in here, it's like 84 degrees, and he's eating pizza, and you got hot chocolate. Blah, 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 blah.
We
So
had-
I would say this. Yes, we did. We had pizza delivered.
Wow.
Pizza delivered out to the shanty. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But up in Wisconsin, that's probably the norm. Like, yeah, I'm out in the middle of this lake.
Here are my coordinates.
20 degree. Yeah, here's my coordinates.
Part of the
And they just
Uber
come pulling up
instructions
in
are,
their car.
will I sink through the ice or not? Is it thick enough to drive on? Oh, yeah, come on through.
I will say
DoorDash
you guys are bold for putting a heater on ice. Like, you guys are bold for that. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
So that's one of the tips where I think guys who are out ice fishing can get away with it more because their wives and significant others think they're suffering. Where if you're doing it right, you ain't suffering out on the ice. Where when you're a boat fisherman, you're out there and it's nice out. Your significant other may be like, "Hey, give me a boat ride, give me a tour, let me get a tan," all that stuff. And you're like, "Oh no, I just want to catch fish." But when it's ice and freezing cold out, the significant other doesn't want to come out as much. But we'll end it. If you got tips, if you got thoughts, if you got jokes, make those comments, make those pushes. I'll try to get what I can footage-wise. I forgot other camera setups that I wanted to bring down here. But again, for no one calling out Dub having 84 pounds of different snacks on the boat, for taking naps on the boat,
I did all that.
for always asking about how the weather is, what the tide is, making sure everything is as cushy as possible. So Cuzz, when Dub gets on the boat, sure, does he have a lot of demands? Is he like a Kardashian, but a male version on the boat? Yes, but also he's down for adventures, and that's what makes a true fisherman. Getting
That
out
sounds
there.
that sounds like a Kardashian.
That's a Kardashian boy.
Just
Like a
that
girly
sounds
boy,
like a
but a
Kardashian.
Kardashian boy.
That sounds like a Kardashian. Just FYI. Be careful how you word that next time.
He appreciates his snacks.
I like me a good snack and a sandwich when we were on the boat too. That was my favorite part, is being able to just have my snacks and my sandwich.
Yeah, but it does come in
Snacks.
handy sometimes because we might be golfing and I might have been running late. And then around hole 5, he breaks out the snacks. And I'm like, yeah, you got me. And then he's
He
like,
has
"Oh,
everything. He has
but then it's
everything.
like, hey, well, those are 50 milligram snacks. So watch out for those. And
You only need a half of one of those. You only need a half.
Hey,
I think I showed you guys what happens when you take a 50. Don't do
Hey.
that.
there's some Wisconsin cheddar and jalapeno beef sticks.
yes.
Hell yeah. I'll take one of those too.
Yes. So we're gonna
Hey,
get a whole.
count me in on that shrimp. Whatever you get, Dame, get me.
Okay, we got you. All right, all you old fart faithful, thanks for tuning in for a special of Talking with a Fisherman. We're going to continue to bring on other folks with their hobbies and get down to the nitty and gritty. You guys post those comments and we'll get more and more advanced. But we want to introduce the Cuzz. He had that great ice fishing reel down here in Charleston. Now we're going out fishing. He's always fishing, so we'll continue throwing out bangers. And as always, old farts, there's one thing around here we're going to do while we're out fishing, and you guys are going to do while you're watching this and after you're watching this. Just don't die. We out.
And welcome to the old living. We're old, we're bold, so we've been told. No plan, no script, just speak our mind. Just talking to unwind. Welcome to the old podcast. We're old, we're bold, so we've been told. Kick off your day, leave stress behind. Just talking to unwind. Oh, living faithful. Back in my day, stories spill out like cheap beer cans. Forget what year it is, but I remember all the bands. We wander, we ramble, we stray. We come full circle, but you'll laugh at something before the night slips away. Oh, living faithful. Oh, living faithful. Don't turn that dial, friend. Let the world wait outside. You're in good company now. Those years are along for the ride.